Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning into the Buzzer Beater podcast brought to you by CMM 315 Sports. Today I'm here with Evan Moss, Asia Arce, and Olivia Rougeau to cover the NBA playoffs and all the excitement that comes with the road to the finals. So something new here we see this season. What do you guys think about LeBron not being in the playoffs?
You know, LeBron feels that this offseason is critical for himself. The Lakers missed out on the postseason for the sixth consecutive year. He says he will be as active as he needs to be for the franchise to succeed next coming season.
I mean, it's just weird not seeing him in this playoffs. I mean, he's been in 8 consecutive NBA Finals, so it's just weird not seeing the King out there.
I want to know, is it a waste for him to be on this team? They brought him and they didn't even make the playoffs. He spent the last couple of games looking off from the sidelines with the groin injury he had.
Yeah, that's certainly something to think about. I think we'll see some more action from him next season. But what do you guys think he'll be doing in the offseason?
I think he's going to spend a lot of time with his family. You know, I'm sure he doesn't get to do that a lot during the season. And definitely, practice. And he's going to be in a new movie, so
Yeah.
Space Jam 2.
Space Jam 2, all those rumors. Hopefully we can see him suiting up for the Toon Squad.
Yeah, that's great. So we'll wrap that up and we'll get into our stories today. So Tuesday, the Portland Trailblazers returned home in Portland to close out the Oklahoma City Thunder in an action-packed Game 5 of the first round of the NBA playoffs. After hitting 34 points in the first half, Damian Lillard was for sure the player to watch. With Lillard hitting multiple buzzer-beater shots, he kept the Blazers on top the entire game. Another big shot from Lillard came from the fourth, fueling a 15-point comeback for the Trailblazers. In the final 7 minutes, the Blazers outscored the Thunder 28-10, closing out the game on a high note for the Trailblazers. Overall, Lillard finished with a whopping 50 points in Game 5 as the Trailblazers secured the win over Oklahoma City 118-115. At this point, the Trailblazers certainly look hungry to secure an NBA championship. Let's see how they do tonight against the Denver Nuggets in Game 2. After defeating San Antonio Spurs, the Denver Nuggets look to take on the Portland Trailblazers. In Game 1 of the second round of the series for the Nuggets, they certainly left it all on the court with a 121-113 win over the first game of the series. Nikola Jokic had 37 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. As we all can tell, he definitely took advantage of his playing time for the absence of Yusuf Nurkic. Tonight, both teams face off again in Game 2 of the series. Will the Blazers make some adjustments? Let's see. Next up is Evan Moss.
So I'm back here with your weekly update on the Philadelphia 76ers' progress in this year's NBA playoffs. Ultimately, the Sixers came out on top in their series against the Brooklyn Nets. The score was a staggering 4-1 final. 76ers had a huge game from Joel Embiid with 23 points and 13 rebounds in Game 5 of the series. Also received some minor contributions from Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, and J.J. Redick. So here we are now. It's the 76ers against the Toronto Raptors. This matchup should be more exciting than the first for the 76ers. This one will also be a little more challenging. Going to the first game, both the Raptors and the 76ers came out confident, but the 76ers fell short the first game due to the huge performance from the Raptors lineup. The Raptors received an outstanding contribution from Kawhi Leonard, who had 45 points in the first game. Another huge performance from Pascal Siakam, who ended the first game with 29 points and 7 rebounds. Game 2 in the series against the Raptors was definitely a huge turnaround for the 76ers. Although the end score was 94-89, the Raptors fell short to Philadelphia. Jimmy Butler came out with a fierce start, scoring 30 points and having 11 rebounds. It's tough to say that they wouldn't have won without his contribution, but because Kawhi Leonard has been so consistent with another 35-point game, and again, Pascal Siakam had another 21 points. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out. Kyle Lowry has seemed to get himself out of his slump, having 20 points in the last game. Let's see if they can bring that same energy to the following game tomorrow at 8 p.m. Now, Asia, with more on the Rockets-Warriors matchup.
Thanks, Evan. The Golden State Warriors faced the Houston Rockets at home Monday night, which resulted in the Warriors leading the series 1-0. The final score of the game was 104-100. One of the most memorable moments in the game happened towards the end of the fourth quarter. With around 10 seconds left on the shot clock, James Harden of the Rockets attempted to shoot a three-pointer, but was contested by Draymond Green. Harden then immediately fell to the ground. However, no foul was called and the game continued on. With 4.4 seconds remaining, Chris Paul gets ejected after bumping into an official who had just called a foul on him. Golden State then gets a technical shot and ultimately goes on to win the game. Why are people making such a big deal about the last 10 seconds of the game? It's because James Harden is known for drawing fouls at the three-point line. It's his thing. So when he attempted to draw the foul, which many believed warranted one, and did not get it, many questioned the official. Looking forward to the next game on Tuesday night at Golden State, Houston should be worried about the controversial referee, Scott Fisher, as he will be there. Fisher, if you remember, has had previous issues with both Chris Paul and James Harden. Harden, according to NBC Sports, even believed back in January that Fisher shouldn't be allowed to officiate games anymore. After the first game, the Rockets would need to figure out how to use their emotion to their advantage. They would not want a repeat of how Paul acted upon his feelings in the last game, which resulted in him getting fined and ejected. Time will tell how things will play on for the Rockets as they go against the Warriors in Game 2. Now with more on the Celtics and Bucks, here's Olivia.
Well, this is a game that no one saw coming. To everyone's surprise, the Boston Celtics, who struggled to find consistency all year, put together a dominant force against the top-seeded Milwaukee Bucks on the road as they secured the first game of the East semifinals 112-90. Celtics point guard Kyrie Irving showed his aggressiveness on offense as he led all scorers with 26 points and 11 assists, while Al Horford added 20 points and 11 rebounds to pace Boston. Jaylen Brown chipped in 19 points and Gordon Hayward had 13 off the bench for the Celtics. The Celtics' offense plan wasn't anything special, but they executed their overall game plan perfectly. Boston's main focus was to shut down Milwaukee's MVP candidate Giannis Antetokounmpo, making sure he had at least 2 or 3 defenders back at each time he made a move down the court. Antetokounmpo is significantly known for scoring in the paint, but more of his attempts were blocked than went in, as he shot just 27%. According to ESPN's Stats and Information Group, this was his worst shooting performance this season and the second worst of his entire career. Horford said that they had to make it tough on him every time, making sure he earned everything that he got, and they did just that. However, moving forward in this series, the Celtics will need to maintain their offense while continuing to shut down the Greek Freak.
Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for tuning into the Buzzer Beater podcast. This has been Parker DeMore.
Evan Moss,
Asia Arcee.
And Olivia Rougeau.
and have a good evening.